Hey, how's it going? Brandon Clark here, and today I want to talk to you about how much it costs to start an FBA business. Now, it's a very hard question to really answer because the first thing that you have to consider is a type of product, right? Each product is going to cost a different amount. And with Amazon, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of products for you to choose from. For me, I play in the supplement game, right? That's the niche that I'm big in. That's a niche I've been in since I've started Amazon. Since I've started on Amazon in 2013, right? So that's my wheelhouse. That's what I know. So for that is what I'm going to be talking about throughout this video. But before I start, again, I want you to consider it's all about the product. If you're selling private labeling TVs or selling TVs, right, it's going to cost you a couple $100s. If you're selling furniture, right, and furniture is big on Amazon, right? If you're doing furniture, that's going to cost you a lot of money to get started. If you're importing in something in from China, right, going through Alibaba, doing that, right, it could vary. You can find a product that's $1. You can find a product that's, $100. There's a lot of different options out there. So, that's a little hard to say that, hey, you can start a business for X money and get this thing going, right? Because you're going to have different variables in that. But for supplements, you can really get going for under about $5 grand. Okay? So with that, I like to tell people to start with 300 units. Now, this is a stock formula product. This is not, going out there and developing your own supplement, that's never been done or anything like that. If you're talking about that, you're going to have a lot more cost involved. Minimum order quantities that you're going to be getting from your supplier are going to go higher, right? The cost is going to be higher. So all that right there, you're doubling everything. But if you're talking about your stock white label product, whether it's, supplements, beauty, grocery, anything like that, I like to tell people to start out with about 300 units. Now, if your supplier lets you do that, then do that. Some have MOQs of, minimum order quantities of 500 or 1,000. So you might have to do some negotiations. You might have to go up and get that. So the cost could go up from there. But I know a lot of suppliers that will allow you to, go up with about 300 units. So if you have that, right, and your product that you're looking at is about a $5 per unit cost, right there you're looking at about $1,500 to get started with a brand new product. Not bad, right? So that product, if it makes you $5, right, you're going to get 10 back. So you're going to get $3,000 back, right? So you're going to have your inventory cost in that. So now you have $3,000, go buy more inventory and just snowball from there, right? Grow it up. So $1,500, not bad at all, okay? Now you do have, to start an FBA business, you're going to have some business setup, right? You need to get legal, right? And I'm not going to give out any of that kind of advice on here because, right, every state, every country, everything's different. This is only for education purposes. So with that, right, you're going to have your business setup fees. If you know how to do it yourself, it can be pretty cheap, right? I've seen it as low as $50. And then if you don't, need to get lawyers' help, you can even do LegalZoom for a couple $100, something of that nature. Okay, so now you got a couple $100. You got your product picked out. It's going to cost you about $1,500. So let's round that up to $2,000 to start. Okay. Now from there, you're going to have to, buy a domain name, get your brand built out. And by that, I mean just your assets, your logo, things like that. Build your website. Now, how much does all that cost? Well, a logo you can get done on Fiverr for, $50 or less. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. If it's, words, you can probably make it in Canva or something of that nature yourself. So you don't have to go anything crazy. Get a Shopify site. You can get a free trial to start. But Shopify, the lowest platform, is $20 a month. So you're not cost, anything crazy in there. Use a free theme. Don't have any more costs associated with that. If you're on Amazon doing FBA, you're not going to be worrying about your website too much, but you do need to have it there because people will go look you up, right? You want to be professional. You want to look like a legit brand. So have that set up. Now, once you get that, you get your label, all that designed. Now, if you do an outside, label, if your supplier doesn't help you with that, some do, some don't. If they do, you can probably get it under $100. If they don't, you're looking at a couple $100 out elsewhere to get that done. And there are cheaper options available. So let's say we're at $2,500 to get the product, to get the brand, the logo, all that established. Now you have your product. You're going to ship it into FBA, which is pretty cheap, right? Depending on how much it weighs. Amazon, shipping into Amazon, super cheap. They get really good rates, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But once you get in there, you're going to have to do some things to market it. So you're going to have to get some reviews. If you could use family and friends help you out. There's some other sites that you can use, things like that. You could use an early reviewer program, which I have another video about. All right, there's some things that you can do to get your reviews. Get a couple of reviews in, and then you can start marketing it. So how much do you need to start marketing, right? I have a list that I built up to launch to. If you're starting out, you can do an easy giveaway list, build up some pre-sale excitement before your product gets there. You can do that pretty cheap, so you have a little bit of a list to launch to. But you can use Amazon sponsored ads. So with the giveaway, right, spend a couple $100. You can do $5, $10 a day even, right? So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. $150 to $300 a month will get you some people built up in there. And you're building up an email list. You can build up a messenger list. There's a lot of things you can do with that money. And then obviously you can launch to that list with your new product. But using the Amazon sponsored ads is what I like. I like to tell people to budget about $1,000 for that first month. Again, you don't have to go anything crazy. You can start $10, $20 a day, but the more you come in, the more, data you're going to be getting, the more you're going to know about your product, the quicker you can make better decisions. Cut off the poor performance stuff, go all in on the big stuff, and you can start scaling it from there. So all in all, right, we're at, $3,500, $4,000, and you still have about $1,000 left over in your budget, right? And then that could put, money down. You'll get a payout on the next inventory order, and you can go from there. Now, those are just kind of basic expenses, right? There are some Amazon tools you might need, say like Seller Tools or Helium 10, anywhere from $50 to $100 a month that will cost you. But there's not much else you need. When you're starting an FBA business, you don't need to worry about influencers or, your Shopify too much. You're building an FBA business to start. Use it as a top of funnel. So meaning let Amazon have the trust for you, right? Customers go to Amazon. They trust everything on Amazon. So they're going to trust your brand. If they go to your website, you have one product, not much up there, they might not trust you as much more. Right? So use Amazon as that top of funnel. That's where you're going to spend all your focus to bring people into your ecosystem and get them aware of your brand and keep coming back to you. And as you do that, you roll out more and more products, and then you can scale it out and then start going into other channels and things like that. But just go all in on building the FBA business. So again, that was an example of supplements with 300 units, right? If you have a 500 unit MOQ, right, you're going to be at $2,500. If you got a $1,000 MOQ, you're going to be at $5,000 just in inventory. And that can happen. And that's with a $5 product. You can find products for $1, $2, $3. You can find products for $20 too, right? So the cost can vary, and that's why I said that at the beginning. So, you can just take that kind of with a grain of salt, right? So when you're doing your product research, pay attention to the MOQ, start small, right? Because if you have 1,000 units and the product flops, then you're stuck with, 900 units. And then what do you do, right? But if it's 300 units and the product flops and you're stuck with 150, 200, you have a better chance of doing something with that. It's not as big of a hit, right? And what I mean by flops is, what if the product was a defect, right? Like if you got something electronic and a piece was missing and none of it worked, or you got a liquid, vitamin or something, and the smell was horrendous. And that's happened to me before. Right? We had a company before, and the smell was so bad, we had to, get rid of all that inventory. So that's why you start small, and that's, so pay attention to that when you're doing your product research. But again, right, 300 units, figure out that cost, budget about $1,000 at least, for marketing on Amazon that first month. And you can do a lot with social media, to build up that excitement ahead of time and start, getting some people involved and making the cost go down a little bit. But it's all into that audience building and stuff, early on. So that's how much it costs to start an FBA business, using supplements as an example and with a small amount. So, if there's any questions related to that, post them in the video or in the comments below. You could reach out to me at brandonmichaelclark.com. You can also find me on Instagram at brandonmichaelclark, on Twitter at wallshark84. All that stuff's down in the video below. If you found this super helpful, please give it a like and a subscribe. I appreciate that. Share it with anybody that needs it. Help spread as much information as you can. So, again, if you need anything, reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Have a great day. See ya.